everyone. Welcome back to English on the Way. I'm Charles.
And I'm Rachel. So good to have you all with us again. We're super excited about our topic. Today, we're talking about something many of you might feel. It's a common challenge, right, Charles?
Absolutely, Rachel. We hear this all the time. I can understand English, but I can't speak it. Does that sound familiar to you, our wonderful listeners?
I bet it does. It's like you watch movies, you listen to songs, you understand what people are saying, but when it's your turn to talk, the words just disappear. Poof.
Yes, exactly. It's like a magic trick, but not a fun one. So today, we're going to explore why this happens and, more importantly, what we can do about it. How to go from understanding to speaking.
Before we jump into our tips and our chat, please, if you're enjoying our podcast, remember to like this episode. Give us a big thumbs up.
Yes, and share it with your friends, your family, anyone who's learning English. The more, the merrier. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the English on the Way channel. It helps us a lot.
It really does. Your support means the world to us. Okay, Charles, let's dive in. Why do you think so many people feel this way? I can understand, but I can't speak.
That's a great question, Rachel. I think one big reason is that understanding is often a passive skill. You listen, you read, you receive information. You don't need to produce anything yourself.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. It's like when you're listening, your brain is just processing. It's not trying to find the right words or put sentences together.
Exactly. And speaking, on the other hand, is an active skill. You need to access your vocabulary, remember grammar rules, form sentences, and then say them out loud. It's a completely different muscle.
Nods. A different muscle. I like that analogy. So it's like your understanding muscle is super strong, but your speaking muscle needs more exercise.
Smiles. Precisely. Think about it like this. You can watch someone play the guitar for hours, and you might understand the notes, the rhythm, the chords, but can you play the guitar right away? No. You need to practice. You need to make your fingers move.
That's a perfect example. So the first step is to recognize that speaking is a separate skill that needs its own practice. It won't just magically appear because you understand a lot.
Right. And another reason is often fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding silly, fear of not being perfect. It stops people before they even try.
Ugh, the fear monster. I know that feeling. It's so easy to get caught up in wanting to be perfect. But language learning is messy, isn't it? It's full of mistakes.
It absolutely is. Mistakes are our friends in language learning, Rachel. They show us where we need to improve. Without mistakes, how do we learn? It's part of the journey. Embrace the mistakes.
Embrace the mistakes. I love that. So we understand it's a different skill and we need to face our fears. What's the very first, very simple step someone can take to start activating that speaking muscle?
Okay, the simplest, easiest step for me is to start with speaking to yourself. No pressure, no judgment, just you and your thoughts.
Speaking to yourself? Can you give us an example? How does that work?
Sure. It's like when you're doing something simple, like making coffee in the morning, describe what you're doing out loud. I am pouring water into the kettle. Now I turn on the stove. The water is getting hot.
Oh, that's clever. So you're practicing forming sentences and using everyday vocabulary without anyone listening. That takes away the fear of judgment.
Exactly. Or If you're watching a show, pause it and describe what just happened. The man is running. He looks happy. Simple sentences. No big words needed. Just get your mouth moving and your brain connecting words to actions.
Wow, that's such a practical tip. And you can do it anywhere. In the shower, walking to work, cooking dinner.
Yes, anytime you have a moment alone. It's like warming up your voice and your brain for English. Think of it as your private English gym.
A private English gym. I love it. Okay, so speaking to yourself is tip number 1. What's next for someone who's feeling a bit more confident or wants to take the next step?
The next step, for me, is to record yourself. It might feel a little strange at first, but it's incredibly helpful.
Record yourself. Like with a phone?
Yes, with your phone. Just open the voice recorder app, talk about your day, describe a picture, read a short text out loud, and then listen back.
Oh, listening back. That's the important part, right? Because then you can hear how you sound.
Precisely. When you listen, you can notice things. Oh, I said good 2 times. Maybe I can use nice or great next time. Or my th sound needs a little work. It's not about being perfect, it's about noticing and improving.
That's so true. It's like being your own teacher. And it helps you get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English, which can be a big barrier for some people.
It really is. Many people feel awkward hearing themselves, but the more you do it, the more normal it becomes. It builds confidence. And remember, you don't have to share these recordings with anyone. They are just for you.
Good point. No pressure to share. So we have speaking to yourself and recording yourself. What if someone wants to start speaking with other people? That's usually the biggest jump, isn't it?
It is the biggest jump, but it's so important. My tip here is to find a language partner or a study group. Start with someone you feel comfortable with.
A language partner. How do you find one?
Well, there are many ways. You can look for online language exchange apps, or maybe a friend who is also learning English. Even a classmate. The key is to find someone at a similar level or someone who is patient and encouraging.
Yes, patience and encouragement are so important. It's not a competition. It's about helping each other. And what do you do with a language partner? Just talk?
Just talk. Start simple. How was your day? What did you do today? Share about your weekend. Talk about your favorite movie. The topic doesn't matter as much as the act of speaking. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Your partner is probably making them too.
True. And it's a great way to build confidence. Little by little, you'll feel more comfortable. What if someone doesn't have a language partner, Charles? What else can they do?
If a language partner isn't possible right now, another fantastic way to practice speaking is to read out loud.
Reading out loud. Like reading a book?
Yes. Pick any book, an article, even a simple children's story in English, and read it out loud. Don't just read in your head, say the words.
How does that help with speaking?
It helps in many ways, Rachel. First, it gets your mouth and tongue used to making English sounds. It builds muscle memory. Second, you're seeing the words, saying them, and hearing them all at once. This connection is super strong for learning. And third, it helps with pronunciation and intonation, how your voice goes up and down.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about understanding the words, but about how they sound when you say them. Ah, that makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And you can start with just 5 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a long time. Consistency is more important than quantity. 5 minutes every day is better than an hour once a week.
That's a golden rule for all learning, isn't it? Consistency. Okay, we have speaking to yourself, recording yourself, finding a language partner, and reading out loud. These are all great for getting started. What about when someone feels a little more comfortable but still struggles to find the right words in the moment?
Ah, the tip of the tongue feeling. That's a common one. For that, I recommend focusing on common phrases and sentence patterns. Don't try to translate word for word from your native language.
Yes, that's a big trap, isn't it? Translating in your head can slow you down a lot.
It really can. Instead, learn common chunks of language, like, how are you doing? Or what do you think about? Or I'm really interested in. When you learn these as a whole, they come out more naturally.
So instead of building each sentence from scratch every time, you have these ready-made blocks of language you can use. That sounds much faster.
It is much faster, and it makes your English sound more natural, too. Pay attention to how native speakers say things, not just the individual words, but the whole phrase. Listen to our podcast. We use lots of common phrases. Wink.
Good point, Charles. We try to. What about vocabulary? Sometimes people know many words, but they still can't use them in conversation.
Yes, knowing a word passively and being able to use it actively are two different things. My tip for this is to use new words immediately after you learn them.
Use them immediately? How can you do that?
Well, let's say you learn a new word today like delicious. Don't just write it down. Try to use it when you speak to yourself. This coffee is delicious. Or when you text a friend in English. I had a delicious pizza yesterday. Or even in your private recording. Today I ate a delicious apple.
Oh, I see. So you're forcing yourself to activate that new word and move it from your passive understanding to your active speaking vocabulary.
Exactly. The more you use a new word, the more it becomes part of your active vocabulary and the easier it will be to use in real conversations. Make it a game. Try to use 5 new words you learned today.
That's a fun challenge, and it makes learning vocabulary more active. What about pronunciation? Sometimes people understand, but they worry their pronunciation makes them hard to understand when they speak.
Pronunciation is important, but don't aim for perfect right away. Aim for clear communication. My tip for pronunciation is to listen and imitate.
Listen and imitate? Like repeating after someone?
Yes. Find short audio clips or sentences from a podcast, a movie, or even a phrase from our show. Listen carefully to how the words are pronounced, how the stress falls, and then try to say it exactly the same way.
So if I hear you say, "That's a great idea," I should try to say, "That's a great idea," with the same rhythm and sound?
Precisely. Don't just repeat the words, but try to match the rhythm, the intonation, the sounds. This is where recording yourself comes in handy again. You can compare your imitation to the original.
Ah, yes. Listening to yourself after imitating helps you adjust. It's like fine-tuning your English voice.
Right. And focus on just a few sounds at a time that are difficult for you. Don't try to fix everything at once. Small steps lead to big progress.
Small steps, consistent practice, and embracing mistakes. These are the big takeaways, aren't they? So, for someone who truly feels stuck, like they just can't speak, what's the most important thing to remember?
The most important thing to remember is that it's okay to start small, very, very small. Don't wait until you feel perfect. Just start. Even one word, one sentence, one tiny conversation. Every single bit of speaking practice helps.
Yes, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? Just get started, even if it's just hello to yourself in English.
Yes, exactly. And remember, everyone, even native speakers, makes mistakes. Language is for communication, not for perfection. The goal is to connect with people.
So true. It's about getting your message across. And the more you practice, the easier and more natural it will become. It's a journey, not a race.
A wonderful journey, and we are here with you every step of the way on English on the Way.
Well, that's all for today's episode. We hope our tips help you go from understanding to confidently speaking English.
We really do. Remember, it's a process. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every little step of progress.
Before we say goodbye, a quick reminder. If you liked this episode, please hit that like button. It truly helps us reach more learners like you.
And please share this episode with anyone you know who is learning English and might be struggling with speaking. Let's help them too.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the English on the Way channel. Don't miss out on our future episodes.
Finally, we'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell us, what is one small step you will take this week to practice speaking English? We want to hear your plans.
Yes, we read all your comments. So tell us your speaking goals, big or small.
Thank you so much for joining us today on English on the Way.
See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye. Keep speaking English. You can do it.